Welcome back to Rift Valley Tube, your source for in-depth analysis of pressing global issues. I'm your host, Suleiman Ali. Today, we bring you an urgent and critical call for justice as we delve into the allegations of grave human rights violations in Ethiopia's Amhara region. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia has faced allegations that bear striking similarities to the accusations against Slobodan Milosevic, the former president of Yugoslavia. We'll explore these concerning allegations and underscore the pressing need for justice in this deeply troubling situation. But before we dive into this crucial topic, I want to encourage all our viewers to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Your support is vital in spreading awareness about these global issues and fostering positive change. First, let's embark on a journey that spans decades and continents, delving into the profound work of the European Center for Law and Justice. This international non-governmental organization has been at the forefront of advocating for human rights and justice in some of the world's most challenging regions. For years, the European Center for Law and Justice closely monitored the human rights situation in the world. During the turbulent era of the Yugoslav wars, they meticulously documented instances of unspeakable atrocities, including ethnic cleansing, mass killings, and flagrant violations of international humanitarian law. Their commitment to upholding justice and defending the rights of those who suffered in the midst of conflict has been unwavering. But today, they brought their focus to a different part of the world, as the European Center for Law and Justice takes a stand on a pressing issue in Ethiopia's Amhara region. In today's address delivered in Europe, a representative of the European Center for Law and Justice presented a compelling plea for international intervention to address the ongoing persecution and violence against the Amhara people. The speech highlighted the gravity of the atrocities committed against this community and emphasized the urgent need for immediate action. In a stark and deeply concerning address delivered today in Europe, the European Center for Law and Justice issued an urgent plea for international intervention to address the ongoing persecution and violence against the Amhara people in Ethiopia. The speech, delivered by a representative of the European Center for Law and Justice and presented to a global audience, highlighted the atrocities committed against the Amhara community and underscored the pressing need for immediate action. The European Center for Law and Justice's representative began by thanking the Vice President for the opportunity to address the dire situation in Ethiopia's Amhara region. The speech outlined a grim timeline of violence and systematic persecution targeting the Amhara people, dating as far back as 1991. The motivation behind these brutal acts was attributed to anti-Amhara sentiments, closely intertwined with hostility towards the Ethiopian Orthodox faith, followed by a significant portion of the Amhara population. This hostility manifested itself through the massacre of Christians, state-sanctioned schisms, and the deliberate burning of churches. Various groups, including the Oromo Liberation Army, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, and the currently leading Prosperity Party led by Prime Minister Ahmed, were implicated as alleged perpetrators of these heinous crimes. Alarming reports of extensive arbitrary detentions and drone attacks have emerged since the declaration of a nationwide state of emergency on August 4th of this year, further underscoring the urgency of the situation. The European Center for Law and Justice's representative expressed profound distress at the disturbing nature of these incidents, which encompassed a wide spectrum of unspeakable atrocities. These horrors ranged from the dismemberment of pregnant women to reports of cannibalistic acts on those who had been brutally killed. The deliberate targeting and systematic nature of these attacks, directed towards both the Amhara people and Ethiopian Orthodox Christians, suggest an intent not merely to intimidate, but to eradicate a specific community, either physically or culturally. This pattern of violence, reminiscent of ethnic cleansing and, disturbingly, possibly genocide, has raised alarm bells on a global scale. The European Center for Law and Justice has urgently appealed to the international community for immediate intervention. They have called upon the United Nations and the international community to support a fact-finding mission to establish the truth behind these harrowing allegations and to ensure that those responsible face justice before a full-scale genocide is perpetrated. The European Center for Law and Justice has underscored the moral imperative of acting swiftly to prevent further bloodshed and cultural annihilation. As the world watches, the fate of the Amhara people hangs in the balance, and the call for justice and intervention grows increasingly urgent. The global community is now faced with a grave moral responsibility to respond to this crisis and prevent further suffering in Ethiopia's Amhara region. Allow me to extend an invitation for you to hear from the representative of the European Center for Law and Justice regarding the Amhara massacre, the ongoing killings, and the urgent call to action.
I now give the floor to the representative of the European Center for Law and Justice.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Amhara people in Ethiopia have been subjected to violent and systematic persecution as early as 1991. The motivation for this violence and killings stems from anti-Amhara sentiments, which are closely tied to an aversion toward the Orthodox faith, given that the majority of the Amhara are Orthodox Christians. This animosity toward the Ethiopian Orthodox Church is evident in the massacre of Christians, state-sponsored schisms, and the burning of churches. Various groups, especially the Oromo Liberation Army, the Kwiru, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, and the currently leading Prosperity Party, appear to have been perpetrators of these crimes. Since the declaration of a nationwide state of emergency on August the 4th of this year, we received alarming reports of extensive arbitrary detentions and drone attacks targeting Amhara civilians. The incidents reported across the country are profoundly disturbing. The horrific nature of these acts covers a wide range of unspeakable atrocities, from the disemboweling of pregnant women to the cannibalistic consumption of those killed. The targeted and systematic nature of these attacks against the Amhara and Orthodox Christians reveals an intent to not just intimidate but to eliminate, either physically or culturally, a specific community. This is a hallmark of ethnic cleansing and possibly even genocide. That is why we ask this Council to support a fact-finding mission to establish the truth and put on trial those responsible before a full-scale genocide is committed. I thank you.
Thank you.
Now, let's transition our focus to examining the similarities between Prime Minister Ahmed's situation and the crisis in Yugoslavia during Slobodan Milosevic's leadership. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia has faced allegations that bear striking similarities to the accusations leveled against Slobodan Milosevic, the former president of Yugoslavia. We will explore these concerning allegations and the urgent need for justice. Allegations of war crimes have been among the most significant and harrowing accusations against Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government. Reports from credible sources have emerged detailing atrocities that shock the conscience: mass killings, sexual violence, and the forced displacement of innocent civilians. These disturbing allegations mirror the charges brought against Slobodan Milosevic, who faced accusations of war crimes during the Balkan conflicts. Crimes against humanity are another grave allegation Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has faced. These allegations stem from the widespread and systematic violence committed against civilians in the Amhara region. These acts of violence were reportedly intended to terrorize and persecute the population, drawing disturbing parallels with the accusations lodged against Milosevic during his tenure. Ethiopia's ethnic federal system, designed to empower diverse ethnic groups, has, unfortunately, fueled conflicts and violence between these communities. Prime Minister Ahmed's administration has been criticized for its handling of these ethnic tensions, resulting in violence, displacement, and fear among the population. This situation bears a disconcerting resemblance to the ethnic tensions witnessed during Milosevic's leadership in Yugoslavia. The current conflict in the Amhara region has triggered a dire humanitarian crisis, characterized by severe food shortages, large-scale killings, displacement of civilians, and the obstruction of humanitarian aid. This crisis has drawn international concern and condemnation, recalling the humanitarian catastrophes that unfolded during Milosevic's rule in the Balkans. Critics argue that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government has manipulatively used ethnicity as a divisive tool, portraying itself as the protector of the Oromo people, while simultaneously confronting other ethnic groups. This manipulation for political gain echoes Milosevic's exploitation of ethnic tensions to consolidate his own power. While Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has not been indicted by the International Criminal Court, as Milosevic was by the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, there is a growing chorus of voices calling for an investigation into the alleged crimes in the Amhara region. Human rights organizations and some governments have taken a stand, emphasizing the urgent need for accountability. In response to the allegations, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government has faced diplomatic pressure and sanctions from various countries, much like the international pressure that mounted on Milosevic during his leadership. This underscores the gravity of the situation and the global concern regarding the alleged crimes. While drawing parallels between these two cases serves to highlight the gravity of the allegations against Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, it is crucial to acknowledge that each situation has its unique complexities and historical contexts. However, the accusations of war crimes, crimes against humanity, ethnic tensions, and humanitarian crises cannot be ignored. They demand international attention, impartial investigations, and accountability to ensure that justice prevails and that such atrocities are never repeated. The international community must remain vigilant and resolute in its pursuit of the truth and justice in Ethiopia. Thank you for joining us today on Rift Valley Tube as we shed light on the urgent call for justice in Ethiopia's Amhara region. I'm Suleiman Ali, your host, and will continue to bring you the latest insights into pressing global matters. If you found this information valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your engagement is crucial in raising awareness about these critical issues and pushing for meaningful action. Stay tuned for more thought-provoking content. And together, let's be the voice for justice and accountability. We'll be back soon with more updates on the issues that matter most.